My next guest writes, and I quote, Saudi Arabia and the UAE have deepened cooperation with both Russia and China out of necessity, not preference. Should the Biden administration renew its commitment to regional defense by publicly affirming a strategic alliance, Riyadh and Abu Dhabi will revert to more cooperative ties with Washington, including on oil prices, at the expense of Moscow and Beijing. Firas Maksad is the Director of Strategic Outreach and Senior Fellow at the Middle East Institute, joining me tonight from Washington. Your piece, an op-ed that you penned for the Wall Street Journal, is fascinating. Russia's decision to wage war on Ukraine and the West's appeal to countries around the world to support their action against the Kremlin has very much laid bare just how much has changed in Washington's relationships with its erstwhile U.S. partners in this region. While we see this sort of coming together of the U.S., the West, there's so much fracture elsewhere. Explain what's going on as you see it.
Becky, it's good to be with you again. Yes, you're absolutely right. In many ways, this process of having the regional countries in the Middle East, primarily Saudi Arabia and the UAE, the heavyweights, diversify their foreign policy options away from the United States has been taking place for a while. But what we see with the war in Ukraine, and particularly countries having to take a position on Russia, is just how much these countries have moved away from the United States. There's also sort of a regional and more local element to this, which is that these countries have been increasingly under attack from Iranian-sponsored militias. I mean, when we have cities, airports, vital global oil facilities in these countries being on regular attack from Iran-sponsored militias, disrupting a global oil supply, and the United States, which is the underwriter of regional security, being largely absent, that sends alarm bells ringing both in Riyadh and Abu Dhabi and has them thinking about how to diversify away from the United States even further.
In your piece, you suggest that how Washington reacts to this unfolding predicament that you see these Gulf countries and others across this region, by the way, but the Gulf countries specifically, and how Washington reacts to this unfolding predicament will shape this still vital region's future and America's place within it for decades to come. You say moments of crises often carry the seeds of opportunity with them. Explain what you mean. You're saying it isn't too little, too late. Let's talk about the significance of what's going on here and the potential consequences should this not be sorted out, this stressed relationship that we are seeing at present.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we've got at least two dynamics, two trends that we ought to think about. One is the fact that the U.S. is no longer perhaps the only hegemon, that China and Russia are actively participants in shaping the world. China now the lead trade partner for most U.S. allies in the region. But the second thing to focus on is the fact that we might be on the precipice of yet another understanding between the West on one hand and Iran on the other. One that could see sanctions lifted and Iran and its proxies being flush with billions of dollars. And that's of great concern to allies in the region. And so when I argue that with times of conflict comes the potential for opportunity, I think this is the time for the administration to rethink and maybe perhaps renew its commitment to the region and the security of its allies and partners in the region. I think also what we're seeing, I mean, obviously today we have the leaders of Egypt, the UAE, and Israel coming together. And I think part of that is sort of the regional reaction of, well, if we can't rely on the United States the way that we used to, then perhaps we need to come together and consolidate our resources, given the challenging times ahead.
What's your assessment of what does happen short term?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it depends on how the Biden administration reacts. Countries in the region have been signaling their displeasure very clearly. Phone calls from President Biden to the leaders of Saudi Arabia and the UAE have gone unanswered. And so, if the Biden administration does use this pivotal moment in its relationship with the region to recalibrate and reassess, then perhaps we can see U.S. allies and U.S. influence in the region safeguarded and protected. But if in fact they go through with the Iran nuclear deal, they lift sanctions on the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards, then I think traditional U.S. allies in the region are going to move further away from the United States, diminishing its influence. And we're going to see the Abrahamic Accord take on greater influence as Israel and many of the Arab countries come together further against Israel being flush with billions of dollars after sanctions are lifted.
There's a lot to digest there, but you have laid out what I know to be, a very clear foreign policy position in this country and so many of those around this region. Thank you.